G'day friends, it's Andrew here again from Nature's Image Photography, and in this video I've been doing some bird photography with the new PANASONIC LUMIX G9 MARKii, and I want to show you some of my shots and give you my impressions of the new autofocus system. This is kind of returning to my roots, as a lot of my earlier videos on the original G9 were about bird photography. So now, with the new camera beginning to arrive in stores, I bet there are plenty of my subscribers wanting to get a sense of what the G9 II brings to the table. The Lumix G9 II is the first of the Micro Four Thirds cameras to feature Panasonic's new phase detection autofocus. It also brought in some new options in terms of subject detection. In particular, for the sake of this conversation, animal eye detection, which is a step further than the original G9's Human Animal Detect AF. Now that sounds great, but has it actually made a difference? After all, the G9 had animal detection, and owners of that camera will remember that it could sometimes struggle to lock onto a subject if there was a lot of distraction. And when following a moving subject, even with nothing else but clear blue sky in the background, the focus could randomly drift in and out, earning the G9 and other Lumix cameras a bit of a reputation for unreliable autofocus. So, now you're thinking of shelling out for the new model, and you deserve to know if the new autofocus system lives up to the promise. Well, I'm happy to report the Lumix G9 II has taken a huge leap forward to give us much better autofocus, and bird photographers are really going to see the difference. I also want to mention that all the shots you're about to see were taken with the original Leica Panasonic 100-400mm lens that I've been using since 2019. There is a new Mark II lens which was announced around the same time as the G9 Mark II, but I haven't got my hands on that lens at this stage. So first up, I want to mention just how effective the animal eye focus is, and I want to start with a couple of video clips. As I've said many times before, I'm not a videographer, and these were shot just for demonstration purposes for this video. But notice here how, despite all the distraction of the foliage around the bird, the AF sticks to the bird like glue, and even when it turns its head away or the eyes disappear behind the leaves, at no point does the camera lose sight of the subject. So when your bird is making life difficult hiding in among the bushes, the G9 II is great for looking past all that stuff and staying on subject. For situations like this, especially when I'm nice and close to the bird and it's not moving around too much, I'm finding animal eye focus combined with what I call single point focus, but described on the screen as one area, works best. When I use the wider area focus, the camera can still be fooled into focusing on the wrong thing when there's a lot of distraction about. Now to a very shaky bit of video shot with a big zoom on a windy day with a very fast and erratically moving bird. But notice again how well the focus stays on subject. Even when we can't see the eye, the camera stays locked on the body, and when the bird disappears out of the frame for a moment, the focus is straight back on when it returns to view. You can't see it here, but it was amazing to see how well that little white focus square stayed locked onto the eye almost throughout the shooting of this clip. So for birds in flight, we've taken a huge step forward. The Phase Detect AF finds the subject and locks onto it much faster than I ever saw on my old G9, and perhaps even more importantly, it stays locked on. For bird in flight shots like these, I still mostly use the animal eye detection, but now combined with the wide area or full area focus. And despite opening up the focus to a wider area, I find the G9 II does a much better job of staying on subject even when there's a bit of background distraction. With the original G9, the focus would often drift to the background, but with the G9 II I'm getting a much better hit rate even when the photo has a lot more going on than just a bird against a clear blue sky. So all in all, I'm finding the animal eye focus is my preferred subject detection option, and I vary between wide area and single area depending on the situation. Occasionally I do find the camera can struggle to pick up the eye, usually in low light or if the bird is a long way away. On those occasions I have had better results by reverting to animal body detection. Happily, switching between modes is quick and easy thanks to the simple menu and touchscreen. And if you haven't seen my video about customizing your G9 II, I recommend you take a look at it because I found an even easier way to access subject detection using the quick menu. And now getting away from autofocus for a second, there's one more thing I want to mention, and that's the super high speed pre-burst mode. This is a mode that starts shooting before you even fully press the shutter button, and it's great for making sure you don't miss those genuine split-second moments. I won't go into depth on it here because I plan to produce a dedicated video on this subject when I get the chance, Suffice to say that while we had pre-burst on the G9, it's had a significant upgrade on the G9 Mark II, and it's bound to become a popular feature with a lot of bird photographers. So now it's time to round off the video with a selection of bird photos taken on the Lumix G9 Mark II over the last few months. And I really feel like I should thank this camera for reminding me just how much I enjoy my bird photography and for giving me the excuse to get out and indulge around my local area a lot more than I have in a long time. As usual, I'm going to include my exposure settings for your interest, and if you find this information really helpful, you can always thank me with a coffee. You'll find the link in the information below. Enjoy the photos, and I'll be back soon with more content on the Panasonic Lumix G9 Mark II.